of tune, but it wouldn't be Tom's Guitar Show if I weren't a little out of tune. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tom's Guitar Show. I'm Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with a guitar. They call me on the phone. They used to call me on the phone. Now, right now, this show is not even on cable TV. It's just being streamed to YouTube. So we're in a sort of transition here. But there used to be a call-in show on Channel 18. Heck, used to be a call-in show on Channel 1.
Iowa City cable system.
Yeah, and Coral. But I heard they could get it in parts of Tiffin and even extreme southern North Liberty. The south side of North Liberty. Anyway.
Well, North Liberty's on the same cable system, aren't they?
No, I think they got their own thing going through. Anyway, they call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with a guitar. And they used to call me on the phone and ask me questions. They say, hey man, what's your show about? So it's about an hour. It's about guitar players, guitar playing, all things guitaristic. So we entertain questions and comments and complaints about guitar, care and feeding your guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you, how to play the guitar would be a big one. Related topics, guitarrón, guitarra, sitars, chitoles, lutes, ouds, vihuelas, banjos, balaicas, bazookies, bajos, sextos, bandurias, tiples, cavaquinhos, you know, harmoniums, harpsichords, harmonicas, piccolos and pipe organs, ocarinas and accordions, clarinets and clavinets, clavichords and clavicles. No, we went through that one already. That's a bone right there. So, okay, collarbone. Anyway, you know, anything though musical's fine. I don't know.
But nowadays you have to tweet it or email it.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. We'll see how it is. I'm going to talk to you about this because I'm thinking about changing the format of this show entirely for the new millennium. We're only 2018, almost 2019.
18 years into the new millennium.
Yeah, almost 19, but you know, all right. Remember Y2K?
Yeah.
I do. I don't think like Erin there probably doesn't. She's like 20, you know, she's probably a toddler. Anyway, all right. So, yeah, but we'll discuss all these things, politics, world events, whatever. We'll keep it clean. This is a family program. Anyway, so right now we're still like dealing with technology here in the studio. So we're doing the Sling, which is the mobile unit. I want to do a big electric guitar show thing, but I keep getting these terrible hums bzzz, coming through it. I think it's because each one of these cameras we have has a transmitter on top of it. And I believe Erin, who works here, she's doing the switching from an iPad somewhere over there behind the counter where the workers work. So anyway, but what I'm thinking about doing with this show is to we come in here on Tuesdays and we sit down and we make a whole bunch of like 2 to 5 minute shows. You know, I play something, I can talk to you about something for like 4 minutes.
And watch 5-minute posts on YouTube.
Yeah, and wherever else they end up being like, you know, stuck up there, certainly on my website or on the Twitter feed and all other things, whatever anybody else wants to use. But sometimes we'll do music and stuff. Sometimes I'll just, you know, so we could do a bunch of them. And my notion is I would do kind of a one-take thing. I mean, I'd play something, or I'd talk to you, and that'd be it. We wouldn't we wouldn't like redo anything. And then
will we not be on the cable anymore?
I don't know what's going on with the cable right now, so we'll be out there somewhere. Don't know what's going to happen.
Did the cable take us off, or it's just the equipment here?
I think we still got the cable for now, anyway. I think it's
just our equipment here doesn't connect to it anymore.
Right. Well, in the control room, the TriCaster.
I know we no longer have the TriCaster.
Well, we do have the TriCaster back.
Oh,
we have a new unit, but for some reason we don't have it like up and running yet. And it's been like that for like 6 weeks or something. So, so actually, not that many people watch this. I have heard a couple people say, "Oh, the show's going now," because
they look for us on Channel 18.
See, the old geezers watch cable TV, and my demographic is old geezers. In fact, when you think about it, we're old geezers.
Yeah.
See, so
I look at the obituaries, and half the people are younger than me.
That's right. Well, a lot of people are getting younger than me too. So anyway, that's my thing. So what I did was, instead of bringing a whole bunch of electric guitars and some pedals and a whole bunch of stuff I was gonna play with, I was assuming it's gonna go bzzz and drive me nuts like it did 2 weeks ago. The guitar I brought a couple weeks ago was actually a very quiet guitar normally. It doesn't like, it's not very susceptible to electronic interference. But it was humming.
Yep.
And it was, it sounded great when I got here, but also when it started going bzzz, I started thinking, oh, I know what happened. They turned on the little broadcasters on the cameras. That's what happened. So, and then when we were up at the, last week we did the show live from the View, and I had an acoustic guitar, electric classical guitar with a pickup and a piezo pickup and a little microphone built into it, into an acoustic guitar amp, and that never hums. And that hummed. Something ferocious. When we plugged it in, went direct, plugged it in, it was terrible. And then, so what we would do is put a microphone in front of the amp, and that was a lot better, but still it was making a little bit of noise. And I hate that.
So how did the fundraiser go?
I think it went all right. There were a lot of people there, but we only getting the food, and people were up there to drink, I think, most of them. So I played for 3 hours. And we cable cast live. I watched part of it. I didn't say much. I just played for 3 hours, and only 1 hour was, was broadcast or whatever. But once again, it didn't go on 18. It went on YouTube, and also the live stream. People watch sometimes. So it was okay. So let me see. Yeah. So that was the last.
We'll keep the lights on for another week.
Well, yeah, I don't know how much money we made. I haven't heard the report yet. I'm sure we made something. I mean, hundreds of dollars, not. It wasn't.
Dozens of dollars?
Dozens of dollars. I made nothing, but no, I made hundreds. But
for those who are unaware, we have lost our source of funding from the cable company.
That's right.
So we're trying to find new ways to keep this show going.
That's right. And we're working on it. They changed the law, and now a new law is supposed to be voted on by the FCC in January, which will take all the money out of local broadcasting from the cable companies, because they set this thing up a long time ago. Say, okay, you're going to string cable all over our communities, and we want some stuff, some bandwidth, some stuff for the people, so other people can do it. That's what this place has been, and so we've had this thing for all these years where we were a cable station. Now, of course, you buy your basic cable package, and you might get a few channels you don't want. Now, whether or not you want PATV or the government channel or the library channel,
or all those cubic zirconia channels,
or the cubic zirconia channels, that's all there is. But you get those, okay? So we're one of those channels, and we're funded by cable TV money. So some very small percentage of the amount of money one would pay for their cable bill goes to local TV, which I think is a good thing, because that means power to the people and all that stuff. But years ago they changed the law, so money still comes in, but the money now just goes to the city channel. But apparently there's a new thing before the FCC where they're going to vote to get rid of that. Or maybe they won't. Maybe they'll vote to keep that. I doubt it.
Yeah.
But,
that's not the way things have been going lately.
Not the way things go these days. So that's the story here. We're on our own, but of course we have certain freedom now. We don't have to. We're not restricted. We've got all these restrictions, like we couldn't, have producers come in from other cities. Like this. Iowa City's like 70,000 people. The whole metro area is maybe 100,000 people. But Cedar Rapids, in that Cedar Rapids metro area, is just right up the road. And it's a great little industrial town. But yeah, it's like twice the size of Iowa City. And then if you go out, to other than just all the expansion of North Liberty, Coralville expansion, there's a lot more people. But then if you think about it, the Quad Cities USA starts about 60 miles away from here. You can drive there in less than an hour. And that starts at like 1 million people. So we could become a regional access media center. And the other thing is, like, if you want to produce a movie or documentary or something, it can be extremely expensive. We can kind of take the money out of the money aspect. Another thing is, So there are these, I forget what it was, these filmmakers, women filmmakers who had some particular issue or something that they were concerned about, and they made political ads for people, because the political ads can cost a huge amount of money to produce. Yeah. And they produced really high quality stuff really cheaply. And this made it possible for people, some of whom who won in Iowa and certainly in other parts of the country. They did some for Iowans, nobody around here, but and around the country, and a lot of those people won because they could get their message out without having to have a huge amount of money. And so this interesting thing is it takes the money out of the communications business to some extent. You can pay your membership here, which is like $50 a year. And then you have, if you want to take classes, they're very inexpensive, and then you can use this stuff, you know. Perhaps we can put together a consortium of people who, you know, who would help you get your message out, virtually for free.
And you can use the equipment
That's right.
once you've taken the classes.
Right. 4K cameras, editing facilities, a TV studio, and so that's kind of what we have now. We could lose it all in about a year, I suppose. We got some money left over, but or we could build this into a regional media center. So that's kind of what that's what I'm trying to. You know, that's what I'm trying to see happen. Anyway, so
what can you tell us about that guitar?
well, this guitar, which is very pretty. Look at that wood. Yeah, look at that. Huh? That's the way it came off the tree. Somebody asked me if I painted it. I said, no, that's how it comes off the tree. Massacre, or whatever. It's a kind of an ebony. This is from Spain. This is a Cordoba, which is just the name of guitars that are built for a company in Santa Monica, California. They also have their own line of the high-end ones that are made in a little shop in Oxnard, California. They're quite expensive. Quite a couple. This is kind of like a fairly inexpensive, made in Spain student guitar. But the thing I like about it is it's really easy to play, and I think it sounds nice. You know, it's like bright and clear, and it's kind of smaller. I have this big fat concert guitar, wide neck, extra hard tension strings. And this one is actually very easy to play. It sounds nice. It doesn't have a booming voice that will fill up a concert hall without any amplification. But you know, it's my old geezer guitar. It's my daughter's guitar. I mean, people. Your choice of tools might change over time, you know, especially when things start to, you know.
When arthritis sets in, yes.
Yeah, Arthur. Anyway, this, I've got me arthritis here. I got something wrong with my shoulder. So.
Carpal tunnel syndrome.
Yeah.
All those things.
Yeah. Yeah. This could all be over at any moment. Anyway, the shoulder thing I've been dealing with for months now, and don't quite know what to do, and I got another doctor's appointment coming up finally, but physical therapy was going to start at like $450 for the first visit. You know? So I went to a chiropractor because I could get that for $30. And
did it help?
No, it set me back quite a ways. I mean, the guy was trying to crack stuff, and it's a tendon thing anyway. So I just try not to injure it anymore. I woke up with something wrong with my shoulder one morning. So, oh, that hurts. I wonder what that hurts. And then I figured I'd go away. I've been figuring that now for like 5 months. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So this guitar, let me play something. By the way, I'll be up to my neck in Christmas music, and I'll be sitting next to a Christmas tree Friday. That's the day after Thanksgiving, so that's when it all starts for me. So anyway.
People have been advertising Black Friday sales since Halloween.
That's right. if we did this show as a, come in on Tuesday and just like do half a dozen short things, play something this time. You and I could talk about something. You know more about the popular culture than I do. Something interesting about Elvis or something. Frank Sinatra or somebody, I don't know. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it could just be banjo player jokes, Mr. Skopinski could come in and explain something he's,
Explain music theory to us.
or something something that he's learned. And then of course I could play stuff. I think, I was imagining these scenes where I'm sitting here restringing guitar or something, or polishing it up with a spray polish or something like that, and you tell me something,
Ah,
some word of wisdom or something like that. Put that up there, so that people, I don't know how people do it. I have a flip phone. Okay, I know you have a flip phone too.
I have a flip phone too, yes.
So I just had to get another card, so I got another 120 minutes.
I buy it a year at a time, but I just got a new one too.
Yeah, well, there you go. How many minutes do you think you're up to now?
3,000.
I'm not much over 1,000, so.
4,000.
4,000, okay, well, there you go. Yeah, yeah, I'm,
Because when I get a year of it, I think I get 800 minutes when I get a year,
oh, I see that.
and I must go through 50 minutes a year.
That's right, yeah. It's like my wife in the car, but, I have, 1,049.67 minutes. They take a fraction out if you get a text.
Yeah, I know. I get those. I tune on and they say they're taking 30 seconds away, and then the text is by minutes now.
Yeah,
I got more minutes than I know what to do with.
yeah. Let's see, hello, I mean, I made a call on this today. It wasn't taking calls for some reason, it wasn't receiving very well, but now it seems to be fine, so I don't know, man, it's what it does to these things. Sometimes the battery runs down in one day, and now it's been fine for like 3 days or 4 days, really. I don't know what's going on. I got another one, I got a $20 one, but I don't want to have to go through the rigmarole of trying to transfer my number and my minutes, because I don't want to give up my 1,000 minutes.
Yeah, you give up all the bonus minutes you got if you transfer it.
Well, yeah.
Because when I get the year, I really only get 400 minutes, but they give me 400 bonus minutes.
Yeah.
But then if you transfer them, you lose the bonus minutes.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'm getting 60 bonus minutes a month,
Yeah.
because I get a 60-minute card.
Yeah.
That'd get me down to like 500 minutes or something, I suppose. I'll probably be okay. I don't know, I don't talk to anybody. But anyway, yeah, I guess that's the, yeah. This is a 3G. I've got a 4G. It's still in the package. It was 20, this is a $10 phone. I got a $20 phone. So I'm moving it up. It's another flip phone. It looks exactly the
Yes.
same.
Mine also is a 3G. I had to get it because my wife and I were both using 2G phones.
Yeah,
And it got to where all the time we tried to call and say, emergency use only.
yeah.
So I called up track phone. They said, that's because you're using an outmoded phone.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're talking about 5 or 6G now, I don't know.
They are changing the towers over. Actually,
Yeah.
I think they already had some 4G towers when we got 3G. But
I think that might be my problem. In some places, it just doesn't have a tower that works, and so yeah, that's probably my problem. Anyway, I don't know what to do. I'm under a lot of pressure to get a smartphone. I read an article about smartphones, so they said, or it's part of an article I was reading. I got all this blog, there's all this reading to do, and I have my coffee, and in the morning. But it was talking about how the same kind of things that work on you if you're a cigarette smoker
yeah,
is with the phone. People are addicted, and it's a very similar brain function.
oh yeah,
So I see these people having to whip out their phones constantly. Now, me, I don't want to have a cigarette because I don't know where that would lead me, or cocaine or heroin or anything, meth or whatever people do. I just stick with coffee. Sometimes I have tea, and then I eat and everything. Sugar is always this thing I'm trying to keep at bay, but I don't have these problems. I have a serious guitar acquisition issue, and I haven't bought a guitar all week.
Hmm.
It's Tuesday.
Well, at least with guitar acquisition syndrome, you have the guitar afterwards.
Right.
If you're doing beer, it's all gone afterwards.
That's right. And you don't buy it, you rent it.
Yeah.
But or whatever, yeah, the addictions, or the gambling thing, you know, the guy who runs a guitar shop used to do, was a research assistant in psychology for a while. And they had this guy, they were doing a thing about his gambling addiction. So when the riverboats first started in Iowa, decades ago, it was sold as a sort of tourist attraction where you could get on a paddle wheeler and be like, you know, Maverick or something like that, you know. And so when he started with that, and he had kept a ridiculous ledger of all his profits and losses from gambling. He had now he was in his 70s, but he couldn't afford to stop working, to retire, because he'd spent everything, all that, like, and it was a huge amount of, you know, like $1.5 million or something in his retirement fund. You know. So all he'd have left is Social Security if he stopped working, because he gambled it all away.
Yeah,
sometimes you win, but you usually lose.
Over in Peoria, there was a car dealer over there. He owned like 4 dealerships. You know, one in Peoria and in like Pekin and East Peoria, and he ended up losing them all.
Yeah.
When the riverboat came to town.
Right. That's how it goes. I used to play in a restaurant in Omaha. It's kind of a fun place. This couple owned it. They had a very good time. But then well, I was there for, like, playing there quite a bit for a couple, 2-3 years or something. But then they discovered the boat in Council Bluffs, Iowa, right across the river from Omaha, Nebraska. And then things started to change a little bit like that, and then they went through some things where they couldn't pay some sort of tax or something like that, and they had to have a fund drive for it, and then this never been a problem before, and then they eventually lost it. And the people that took it over ended the music program there. Because they used to, they didn't make that much money, but they throw in a couple extra 20s, you know, for me. And for playing there, and I played there like a lot. Sometimes I was there like every Saturday, which is like kind of a long haul. But to drive to, it's a 256-mile trip from my front door. But not unusual for a guitar player. But anyway, they lost it. I looked them up. I hadn't played there for a long time. I hadn't played there for 15 years or something, or maybe something like that. And then a year or two ago, I called. And I looked them up, and they had. I got the news, you know. I got some newspaper clippings, whatever. I Googled it, and I did some more searching, and they lost it because they couldn't afford it. But you know, the place was. A lot of people would go there to eat, and it was fairly expensive. It was kind of like a health food restaurant. So anyway, and then I played another place, and that woman was I think she liked to drink, and then she liked to gamble. It was in Cedar Rapids, and she lost that one too. So, and that had been an old established restaurant that had been there for years and years and years, and I played there for a while, and then they went broke.
And the really funny thing is that casinos go broke all the time.
Yeah.
You know, the decks are stacked in their favor.
Yeah.
What happens with most of them is they borrow so much money.
Yeah.
You know, they can, on their operation, they can turn a profit, but they owe so much they can't keep up with what it takes to make the payments on the place.
Right. Well, there are a lot of problems associated with all these sorts of things. Like, you know, I kind of like playing in a restaurant. I don't really want to be in the business of, I used to play in bars a lot, and I think my job there was to make sure people stayed and drank. And I was encouraged to play music and present myself in such a way that would make people stay and drink, and then hope to, you know, get together with somebody of the opposite sex or whatever they were into. So that hope would be like, and that was sort of this thing, you know, you stay and drink, and that's because it's hydraulics. It's like they're selling fluids, and not exactly the kind of gig, you know. I mean, you can make money playing, doing that, but it's not really my thing, you know. So the restaurant's kind of nice because people go there, you know, and have a nice dinner. And there's a wine cellar right at Tuscan Inn where I play, but it's not like a drinking establishment at all. You know. Sometimes some rough around the edges people go in there trying to do shooters, which I guess is shots of hard liquor.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't do that here. So they do have, I mean, they have Scotch and Irish whiskey and stuff, and maybe a bourbon or two, and then, you know, like that, but they're not.
Have some upscale wines there too, don't they?
They have a lot of wine, a lot of wine cellar, a lot of wine, huge wine inventory. So upscale, but you don't like sit there and,
You'll sit there and pound upscale wines.
yeah, no, I mean, some people do maybe, but that's not what it's for. You sip it out of a large glass, and you sit there with your candlelight, and you have that nice, the lobster tails or something like that, and then you have the pâté, a little piece of bread, and then you have this, and then you swirl your wine around that, smell it and drink it, and at the end of the night, you might have somewhat of a buzz, but it's not the same. Believe me, I played in a blues bar in Cedar Rapids, with Checkers years ago. There's a guy who helped me carry my stuff in. I had my back was messed up. I threw out my bag or something like that, and I had pretty heavy stuff in those days. And this guy, who was in a great mood, but he was definitely drunk, helped me carry my stuff in, which always makes me nervous because I had people drop expensive stuff. He didn't drop it, and he sat there, and he was there all night. So I played for 4 hours, like 9 to 1, whatever. And he sat there. He was there drinking, and he liked the music. He was my great benefit. He's my fan. And I had a pretty good night there. I guess made some money and everything like that. And at the end of the night, he'd been drinking all night long. He helped me carry the stuff out, and he was still just the same kind of wobbly as he was carrying it. And he didn't drop anything. And I thought, I don't know if I want this guy carrying it. But then again, my back is screwed up, and this.
Well, some drunks are pretty functional.
Yeah, this guy was high functioning, but. Yeah, it's one of those things where people are just drinking all night long. So, yeah. Anyways, I say I drink coffee. And, I was driving back Highway 22 from Kelowna one night, and then this car starts tailgating me, and it looked like a Chrysler product because of the headlights, kind of signature of the headlights. That's all I could see, and mostly people tailgate me in great big pickup trucks out there. And I had my cruise control at 58 miles an hour, and I'm driving this 55 mile an hour, just taking my curves, like that. And then there's a long, couldn't pass me for long. There's a straightaway, and it goes past me. It's a Washington County deputy or whatever, deputy car. I thought, okay, I'm 3 miles over the speed limit. What if he did want to pull me over? One thing is I was pretty precise because I've been drinking coffee all night. I was quite precise. And, not in the least bit impaired. And, if he made me blow into a little balloon or something like that, I'd be 0, which I prefer. Now, trying to get to sleep when you get home, and after you've been drinking coffee all night. That one busboy, Levi, I don't know how good he is at everything else, but somehow when he started working there, I managed to impress upon him the importance of keeping the guitar player caffeinated. I had this problem, I kind of nod off siesta time when I got there. What have I done? I played like one thing. Yeah. Fernando's Sore Opus 35, number 22. I played it before. Memorized it somehow. Had a student, and she started working on it. I gave it to her. I hadn't played it since I was a student myself, many years before. And then I heard it as a soundtrack for some like documentary about the Spanish painter Goya, and they played that in the back. And I said, "Oh, I know that one." And that was at the same time that I was teaching this to this woman, but it took her like, she was working on it for like 3 or 4 weeks. So I ended up memorizing it. And then I thought, I kind of like that song. Anyway. Can't seem to figure out how to pronounce the guy's name who wrote that. Bartolome I don't speak Catalan. No. They have a series of popular songs from Mallorca. I think I went to Mallorca when I was a kid. It's like off the coast of Spain and the Mediterranean. And it's like really pretty sun and sand and stuff. And then, so I was looking at that because I was playing these like little popular songs from Mallorca, you know. And so I thought I was there when I was a kid. I was like 9 years old, and so I read the history of it. So it was this place, paradise, out there in the Mediterranean. And then with the Muslim Moorish like invasion or whatever, the ships came, the Mohammedans, and they took everybody off the island, and then they put their own people there. The women were, you know, sold, you know, in the slave markets in North Africa and the Middle East, basically. And the men were, those who weren't just killed, were put to work rowing those ships until they couldn't row anymore, and then over the side. So I thought, wow. People have been living there for a long time, and all of a sudden these ships show up. So, anyway.
We were over there in 2000, and you see those old churches, and the ones down toward the Mediterranean, a lot of them, you know, they've had the onion domes on them, and they've had the crosses on them, because the Muslims would come in and conquer the place for a while, mostly the Turks, and then the Christians would come down, conquer them back for a while, and whoever was in charge, it'd either be the onion dome or the cross on top of it.
Yeah, the crescent or the, yeah. Yeah, well, there was a big long war, you know.
Well, I don't think it was a war. I think it was a series of wars.
So yeah, it was a series of wars. It was this whole like.
Of course, that's like the English and the French in their 100 Years' War. You know,
Yeah.
it'd be war for a while, and then it wouldn't for a while, and then they'd be at war again.
Right. Well, they. I think that the Europeans were like, wasn't it the 18th century? I think from this like the like 7-something to, 17-something or whatever, I think they went up. Depending on, how close you were, I mean, like Vienna, was being, and then of course there's the Mongols, but they didn't do that, they weren't around for very long. They didn't do their thing for very long, but they sent an emissary into a town, somewhere in Arabia, and they killed that emissary, so, the Genghis Khan's guys, they go in there and kill everybody, everything, it's the last chicken in that town, so learn not to do that again. Anyway, but, boy, I hope we're past all that as a species. Probably not, but,
Well, supposedly, a lot of trade and things flourished during the Mongol Empire because he kept peace.
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, in the Roman Empire, Pax Romani, or whatever, these people who'd be fighting forever, they became part of the Roman Empire, and then they wouldn't fight anymore, and things went pretty well, in a way. Of course, they were under the thumb of Rome.
Of course, then Attila showed up and said, I'll have some of that.
Mm-hmm. That's right. We named our cat after him. Attila the Honey. She's called Chili now. She's, not that she's older, she's a lot sweeter. But, anyway, but, yeah. Well, that's humans for you. Actually, last night I was watching the 92nd Street Y, some sort of thing, and it was with Neil deGrasse Tyson, the astrophysicist, whatever he does, astronomer guy. And toward the end of it, the guy was Neil Krolikowicz, where he was interviewing him, and he kept him up at night, and he was thinking that there's like 1% difference between a human and a chimpanzee.
Yeah.
But a chimpanzee can only really function on the level of our toddlers, mentally. But they're really close, we're genetically very, very close. So what he thinks is, well, we think we're pretty smart. Because his thing is like, the human mind probably can't really understand the universe, the workings of the universe, quantum mechanics stuff. You can use mathematics. Our pictures and words can't really express it. You can get it in mathematics if you know that much about mathematics. So our smartest people, so he said, well, what if there's another species out there somewhere that's 1% beyond us? So they are as far from us as we are from chimpanzee. Okay? And so what would they be able to do? What would they know? And they'd be like, chimpanzee can gives the kind of abilities of a toddler to a certain point. And what if we have the abilities of their toddlers? Where would they be? So this is.
I read an article about that one time, and the guy says, when they show up, the best thing we can do is kill them and eat them.
Yeah.
Because whenever a more advanced civilization meets a less advanced, the less advanced ends up getting wiped out. So
yeah, right. I suppose, yeah.
Deal with them like the Pacific Islanders dealt with Captain Cook. Kill them and eat them.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I'm not a vegetarian, but I don't know if I want to eat that alien mystery meat anyway. But who knows? They might have a completely different biology.
Might taste like Spam.
Yeah. Well, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Well, they're having these. I saw a YouTube video of unexplained UFO encounters that most people haven't heard about. Some of them, involve local law enforcement. Some of them involved airline, like the airline pilots. The whole cockpit saw it.
Yeah, over at Peoria, the campus cops at Bradley chased a UFO all around one night.
Mm-hmm.
They never did figure out what it was, and eventually it flew away.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. So.
And kids didn't have drones then, so I don't know what it was.
Yeah. Let's say maybe it's a weather balloon, and the pilot says, I've seen weather balloons, and they don't suddenly move faster than anything I've ever seen. Some guy's in a supersonic jet, and somebody, and then this thing goes, they follows him for a while, and looks at him, and then it goes faster than he can, imagine in his fighter jet or whatever.
Well, toward the end of World War II, the Germans had a couple of jets. And, you know, the Allies had never seen anything like that. A plane without a propeller that would go faster than airplanes.
I figured it out pretty quick though, but the problem with those was they were really unreliable and hard to maintain.
Yeah, they only had a couple of them, you know, by that time they were running out of everything, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thing is that they were getting bombed constantly with, you know, with state-of-the-art propeller planes at the time, I guess. And then there was also the fighter bombers, like whatever that was. So they'd have a convoy. There's one thing I read, which may have been just propaganda, but it was written by a German who had been captured, and he was saying that they'd been occupying France, you know, and they were getting kind of bored. And then when the Normandy invasion happened, they said, oh, great. So they put together a little convoy, and they were going up there. And then a couple American planes came down and strafed the heck out of them, you see. And then a lot of their vehicles were just, you know, disabled, and a couple people were died. So they put together what was left and continued on there. And then some more planes came and strafed that. And so they'd never seen, because we had these planes, all of a sudden our planes were kind of funky at the beginning, but then all of a sudden we got them, you know, they beefed them up, and then they were better than most of the German planes. But, you know, all kinds of machine guns there, and then they say, we've never seen an enemy like this before, so that was when it was, you know. So, you could have a few jets, but you have a whole bunch of those, you know, pretty fast, powerful propeller planes. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, well.
And jets in 1945 weren't supersonic by any means.
No.
They were faster than the propeller planes, but like I say, when you've only got half a dozen of them.
Yeah. That's right. And they had the missiles too, which was cool, but they didn't have, you know. I went to, my brother was a history professor, and now he just runs an interpreting and translation business in Berlin, but he was a history professor. He'd come back here every summer, and he would teach a course on the Nazis, which is his least favorite subject of 20th century German history, as you can imagine. And I mean, he's been living in Berlin for years and years, and his kids have dual citizenship, so and he doesn't have an accent. You wouldn't know he wasn't German. You know, like, he appears to be a German, to a German, anyway. But, so he was showing his thing, he was doing his thing, he was at a PowerPoint, and I went to his lecture, just sat in his lecture one time in the summer, and he was showing this like, how they would have slave labor building these, like these missiles and things in these, like railway tunnels in mountains.
Oh, you had to put them where they couldn't be bombed.
Yeah, yeah, so they'd be in there, and of course they would figure out how to do all the work so the people who were starving could still do it for their little bowl of gruel every day, and of course they'd die, but they'd have more, so they made these jobs really simple, which is an interesting concept as far as learning how to do industrialization and getting starving people before they finally, you know, anyway. Slave labor. Yeah, humans. Let's see, we talked about what happened in Majorca. I wonder what the DNA of the people in Majorca now is, and what it was, you know, all those years ago. Who were those people who've been living there? You think of people living in like a tropical or warm, sunny paradise, and you think somewhere in the South Pacific, but off the coast of Spain.
Well, that, you know, before cars and planes and ships and buses and whatnot, most people never went more than 100, 200 miles from home.
Right.
So most civilizations were pretty inbred. You know, they never met anybody from more than 40, 50 miles away.
Right. That's right. But if you're living there for centuries, you know, people probably come. I mean, it's not that far to go over the water, but you know, you just probably don't do it in a rowboat or something, like a ship or something. You think about ships going like 3 miles an hour, 3 knots or whatever like that. It's a big thing with a square sail, blown off course.
Yeah, it'd take a month or so to cross the Atlantic.
Yeah, at least. I mean, you know, think about it. I mean, you go from France to New York City, Yeah, we did it when I was a kid, 5 days, and an ocean liner. From Napa to New York City. We went both ways. See, we had this dog. We had a really fancy, like great big, like 95-pound poodle with black hair. And they had to cut their hair, so he had a mustache and a goatee and then a glint in the eye. I guess poodles are smarter than most dogs. I mean, the big ones are. I'm talking about the yapper ankle biters, which are, some of them are nice, not cute and nice, but the big ones, the big standards. So we didn't want to have him anesthetized and put him in a cage on a plane, because you know how it is. You want the best for your dog, right? I mean, it's your dog. So we went to and from France on a ship, and a long time ago when you could still do that. And that's one of the last ocean liners. It was La France, like the French ocean liner had swimming pool, dance hall, and the dogs had the doggy deck, and they had the kennel and everything, and they had this place where they could walk. They had like fire hydrants and lampposts and stuff on it. Yeah. And then they ate, leftovers and stuff from the kitchen on a French ship. Yeah. So French cuisine. Pretty fancy feeding. Yeah, he did pretty well for himself. He lived pretty well. He had a good life. He didn't. He got poisoned, unfortunately. I think he ate antifreeze, ethylene glycol or whatever. Yeah, dogs think that tastes good. Yeah. Somebody drains their radiator and the dog drinks it, and that's all for that dog. That's it. That's what happened to him. So just like the snow, he ate it in the snow or something somewhere. And but yeah, he lived well. And then I'd be walking down the street in Poitiers with this dog. As a teenager, he had this yellow collar, and his leash was like a chrome, chain with a yellow, handle on it, strap on it. So I walk him through the streets, and he's the best looking dog in Poitiers. So people come up and talk to me about it. And, I mean, I learned a lot of French that year, but I was still obviously a foreigner. Yeah. I find, the best looking poodle in town in France is an American. Yeah. And it's human. So, just so disappointed. You see people so disappointed. So, all right. Doing much of this show. Yeah, maybe you ought to play the guitar a little bit. I suppose. My feeling is that I wanted to maybe do this. We haven't been on the cable for like 6 weeks or something like that. Yeah. And we're not even on the Tom's Guitar Show channel on YouTube because of some other issues. So I'm, here I am. Maybe 5 people will watch this show. Yeah. 6 if I have to. Yeah, if we haven't got those channel surfers during the commercials. That's right. Well, then we had to change everything, man. I don't know what to tell you. We've got to get in the 20th century now, I guess. Before it's over. 20th century is over. Oh, yeah, 21st. That's you're right, 21st. See, that's how out of touch I am. 18 long years since Y2K. That's right. Yeah, well. Pushing right up against 19. Right. It'll be 2020 before you can say George Nickelfritz. The notion is, though, that if Little Tom's Guitar Show vignettes pop up, they'll be on YouTube all the time. There's people who watch it. I've got like 300 and some subscribers on my YouTube channel. I haven't really done much to promote that. But if it pops up here and there, it's embedded in the Twitter. Maybe, these little things. Maybe I'll play something. I'll demonstrate something. One thing I've noticed is I can play guitars. Well, I want a guitar, but they don't have one. They had to order it, right? The guitar shop. I'm interested in things, so I look it up on YouTube. And always the guy's got like long hair and a kind of a bushy goatee and a bunch of tattoos, and he can't wait to distort it, like that, and which is fine, but I can't really tell that much difference between a really cheap, like $99 Indonesian Fender guitar and the $2,000, Summit Hollow, yes, 335, copy or whatever. And so, I want to play it through a tube amp with a little reverb and make it sound like this big shimmering, Joe Pass or maybe Pat Metheny sound, nice and clean. So that's so I thought, well, maybe I should do a bunch of those. I go through my guitar collection, that'll keep me going for a year or so. And then maybe people let me demonstrate their guitars.
Yeah, remember to shred the speaker and overdrive the amp.
That's right. But you can get all kinds of pedals to distort you.
I saw an ad for a wood cone speaker.
Weird.
Yeah. I wonder how that works.
I don't know. This is just wood, you know?
Yeah, it wouldn't flex like that.
Anyway, this show's about over here, but I'll tell you, check me out at the Tuscan Moon this weekend. Friday, Saturday night. I won't be there Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. Beautiful downtown Kelowna, Iowa, Tuscan Moon. I'm gonna play next to that Christmas tree again.
Exit 80 on 218.
That's right.
Go west, young man.
That's right. You can drive Highway 1. People watch this in other countries. But of course they've long since, of course, stopped the video and gone to something else. How's that, huh?